Good evening friends. Welcome to Shankar IAS Daily News Analysis. Today's date is 9/3/2024. As you all aware that we are starting Pre-Fit 2024 Batch 3 on 11/3/2024. It has a total of 63 tests containing 37 half tests and 6 revision tests and 7 full portion with 10 CSAT and mock test of 3. It can be accessible both online and offline. Be first and fast to scan to register because the admission in progress. Behind me are the list of articles that we are about to discuss today. Without much delay, let's get started. Look at this article. Yesterday, our Prime Minister announced a 100 rupees price reduction for domestic LPG ahead of Lok Sabha election. In this backdrop, let us revise basic about LPG, CNG and biogas. Let us start with liquefied petroleum gas, LPG. LPG is a flammable hydrocarbon gas that consists mainly of propane, butane or a mixture of both. It is a byproduct of natural gas processing and crude oil refining. LPG is typically stored and transported under pressure as a liquid, but it vaporizes into gas when released from the container. This property makes it convenient for storage, transportation and use in various applications. LPG commonly used as a fuel for heating, cooking, hot water system and vehicle. It is also used in industrial applications such as forklifts, heating process and as a propellant in aerosol cans. Moving on to the CNG, that is compressed natural gas. CNG is a natural gas composed mainly of methane, typically over 90%. It is extracted from the underground natural gas reserves or produced from a decomposing organic matter in landfills or wastewater treatment plants. CNG is stored and transported in high pressure cylinders or tanks as a gas. It remains in a gaseous state under pressure and must be compressed to fit into storage containers. CNG is commonly used as a fuel for vehicles, particularly in buses, taxis and fleet vehicles. It is considered as a cleaner alternative to gasoline or diesel because it produces fewer emission when burnt. Now moving on to the biogas. Biogas is a renewable energy produced through the anaerobic digestion of organic material such as agricultural waste, animal manure, food waste and sewage. Biogas primarily consists of methane, typically over 50 to 70%, carbon dioxide and small amount of other gases like hydrogen sulfide and nitrogen. Biogas can be used for heating, cooking and electricity generation. It can also be upgraded to a biomethane, a purer form of methane, and injected into natural gas pipelines or used as a vehicle fuel. Biogas production helps to reduce greenhouse gas emission by capturing methane from organic waste and converting into a useful energy source. In summary, while LPG, CNG and biogas are all types of fuels, but they differ in their composition, sources and application. LPG is a byproduct of natural gas processing and crude oil refining. CNG is primarily composed of methane extracted from natural gas reserves, and biogas is produced through anaerobic digestion of organic waste. Each fuel has its own advantage and application depending on the factors such as availability, infrastructure and environmental consideration. That's all about the article. Let's move on to our next discussion. Look at this article. It talks about gender equality and sustainable development. Gender equality and women empowerment are gaining increased attention in the discussion, but there is a crucial aspect often overlooked. Studies consistently show that achieving sustainable energy for all is closely tied to a gender equality and women empowerment. Sustainable Developmental Goals, especially SDG 5, Gender Equality, SDG 7, Clean and Affordable Energy, and SDG 12, Climate Change, are intricately connected. So, gender equality is fundamental to the success of various SDG. Influencing their achievement is a significant way. This is the crux of the article. We shall approach this topic using our mains answer writing approach. This is the mains question. Take a look at it. Discuss the role of gender equality in fostering sustainable development with reference to its impact on socio-economic development, environmental conservation, and inclusive policy making. This topic comes under syllabus GS Paper 1. Begin the answer by providing a brief overview of gender equality and connect it with sustainable development. Then we can split the body of the answer into 3 parts. Firstly, we must write about the impact on socio-economic empowerment. Secondly, about the impact on environmental conservation. And thirdly, about the inclusive policy making. We must provide suitable example to substantiate our points whenever necessary. So, this is how we are going to approach this question. Let's start answering. As I said earlier, the introduction can be about the overview of gender equality and its relation with sustainable development. So the introduction goes like this. As per UN, gender equality refers to the rights, responsibilities and opportunities of women and men and girls and boys. Gender equality does not mean that the women and men will become the same. Rather, it seeks to do away with the gender inequality by stipulating that the rights, responsibilities and opportunities for men and women will not depend on their gender. Gender equality is considered as both human right issue and as a precondition for sustainable development. Note that the gender equality is a fifth sustainable developmental goal. among the 17 SDGs. The correlation between gender equality and sustainable development is evident through its impact on socio-economic development and environmental conservation and inclusive policymaking. In this way, you can give a brief overview of gender equality, and we have also linked the sustainability into the intro part. In this way, you can give a brief overview of gender equality, and we have also linked the sustainability into the intro part. Now, moving on to see the body part of the answer. Here we shall split the answer into three parts as said earlier. In first place, we are going to discuss about the impacts on socio-economic empowerment. Firstly, workforce diversity. Gender equality enhances workforce diversity by ensuring equal opportunities for men and women. This diversity leads to more innovative and productive workforce, contributing significantly to the economic growth. Secondly, entrepreneurship. When women have access to education, resources, and opportunities, they are more likely to engage in entrepreneurial activities. This not only strengthens the economy but also fosters a culture of innovation and creativity. The formation of self-help groups, particularly in rural areas, has empowered women economically and socially. For example, Kudumbasthri initiative in Kerala has successfully organized women into self-help groups, providing them with the opportunities for entrepreneurship, skill development, and financial independence. Thirdly, poverty alleviation. Empowering women economically is instrumental in poverty alleviation. Gender-inclusive economic policies and initiatives can help break the cycle of poverty, leading to more resilient and sustainable communities. Now we shall move to see the second part of the answer. Here, we have to discuss about the impacts on environmental conservation. Firstly, resource management. Women often play a crucial role in natural resource management. In many communities, they are responsible for water and energy resources, and their involvement ensures more sustainable and equitable use of these resources. In rural India, women are often responsible for water collection and management. Women-led water management committees in states like Rajasthan have successfully implemented rainwater harvesting and water conservation projects, contributing to the improved water availability. Secondly, climate resilience. Gender equality contributes to building climate resilient communities. Women are often on the front line of climate change impacts, and empowering them ensures better adaptation strategies and sustainable developmental practices. Initiatives like Mahila Mangal Dal in Gujarat empower women to adapt to the changing agricultural practices and build resilience to the climate related challenges. Thirdly, biodiversity conservation. Women-led NGO and community-based organizations often play a crucial role in creating awareness about sustainable practices and fostering a sense of environmental responsibility. For example, Chipko movement led by women in Uttarakhand involved hugging trees to prevent deforestation. Women in these Western Ghats, through organizations like Vanastri Foundation, engage in seed conservation and promote traditional farming practices that safeguarding biodiversity. Moving on to see the third part of the answer, here we have to discuss the impacts on the inclusive policymaking. Firstly, representation in decision-making bodies. Gender-inclusive policies such as reservation for women in local governance institutions like Panchayat Raj ensures that women actively participate in decision-making process. This representation enhances the inclusivity of policies by incorporating a wide range of perspectives and priorities. Secondly, gender-responsive budgeting. Gender-responsive budgeting ensures that policies consider the specific needs and the experiences of both men and women. It helps in identifying and rectifying the gender disparities in resource allocation, leading to more inclusive developmental outcomes. Thirdly, legislation for gender equality. Enacting and enforcing laws that promote gender equality is a crucial aspect of inclusive policymaking. Examples like Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Act 2013, which addresses a specific gender-based issue and contributes to a more inclusive working environment. That's all about the body part of the answer. Now the conclusion part. Recognizing and addressing the gender disparities is not only a matter of justice, but a strategic imperative for building a resilient, inclusive, and a sustainable future. Policymakers and societies must work collaboratively to dismantle barriers and create an environment where all individuals, regardless of the gender, can actively participate in and benefit from the journey towards sustainable development. That's all for the answer. Now let's move on to the next topic. Look at this news article. As you know, Indian Navy's new base INS Jadayu was established on Minika Island in Lakshadweep. This base contains radars, jetties, airfield and BrahMos supersonic cruise missile. Note that this base will enhance India's security capabilities in the islands as they are located very close to the critical sea lanes of communication. This is the crux of the article. In our discussion, let us see about BrahMos from prelims perspective. See, BrahMos is a long-range nuclear-capable supersonic cruise missile. It is capable of being deployed from land, air and sea. It is capable of traveling at a speed of Mach 3 making it one of the world's fast cruise missile. Now let us understand the characteristics of the missile. It is a two-stage missile. The first stage is a solid propellant booster engine. This stage brings the missile to the supersonic speed. Moreover, the second stage is a liquid ramjet stage. This stage guides the missile in the cruise stage. The missile operates by fire and forget principle. It means once the missile is launched, it can hit the designated target even without the launcher in the line of sight of the target. See, BrahMos missile was designed, developed and produced by DRDO and Mashinostorienia of Russia. Initially, they are developed for a range of over 290 kilometers. Their range was extended to 400 kilometers as of now. The other special features of BrahMos include it has its ability to be integrated into multiple platforms, low radar signature which enhances its sheath capabilities, pinpoint accuracy which ensures assured destruction of the target. With these basics, now let's see about BrahMos 2. See, BrahMos 2 was also known as BrahMos Mark II. Is a hypersonic cruise missile. It will be used as a ship-based missile to increase the offensive capabilities of Indian Navy in the Indian Ocean region. Know that it will play a pivotal role in India's vision to free and open Indo-Pacific region. The hypersonic BrahMos 2 will be inspired by Russia's 3M22 T-Zircon anti-ship hypersonic cruise missile. It uses advanced scramjet engine technology. Other characteristics are expected range with over 300 miles, speed up to Mach 7. It can be launched from land, air and sea. That's all about BrahMos today. Let us now move on to our next topic. This news article talks about National Investigation Agency's investigation into the explosion at the Rameswaram Cafe in Bengaluru. After the explosion, the suspect has travelled to Bellary. So the NIA is currently questioning the 4 accused in Islamic State-inspired terror module discovered in Bellary. In this context, let us learn about NIA from the prelims perspective. NIA is a national counter-terrorism law enforcement agency of India. It was created after 2008 Mumbai terror attacks by the enactment of National Investigation Agency Act 2008. So it is a statutory body. It functions under the Ministry of Home Affairs. The headquarters of NIA is in Delhi. The primary mandate of NIA is to investigate and combat terrorism and other organized crime that have a national or international impact. It has jurisdiction across the entire country and also applies to the Indian citizens outside the country. It can investigate cases related to terrorism, cybercrime, arms smuggling, human trafficking and more. In simple words, NIA is mandated to investigate all the offences threatening India's security, sovereignty and integrity as well as its friendly relation with foreign countries. Some of the offences scheduled under NIA Act is displayed here. You can have a look. Now let's see the sharp difference between NIA and CBI. See, CBI was set up in 1963 based on the recommendation of Sandhanam Committee on Prevention of Corruption. It derives power from Delhi Special Police Establishment Act 1946 and it's not a statutory body. It currently functions under the Ministry of Personnel, Pension and Public Grievances. Their differences mainly lies in the function and the jurisdictions. NIA mainly investigate incidents of terror attacks, funding of terrorism and other terror-related crimes. The CBI investigates crime of corruption, economic offences and serious and organized crime other than terrorism. CBI acts per the procedure prescribed by CRPC, which makes it a police agency. And taking up investigation by CBI in the boundaries of state requires prior consent of the respective states as per Schedule 6 of DSPE Act. CBI is dependent on the Home Ministry for staffing and relies on the Ministry of Law for lawyers. It is also financially not independent as administrative and financial control rest with the Ministry of Personnel. On the other hand, NIA is far more independent than CBI. It can examine any terror-related crimes across the country without special permission from the states. While NIA is headed by a Director General who is a senior IPS officer, the CBI is headed by CBI Director having a rank of DGP, who is appointed by the central government based on the recommendation of a selection committee. That's all about this article. Now let's move on to our next discussion. Look at this article. It talks about the struggles faced by the ASHA workers. In this context, let us understand about ASHA. First, let us see who is an ASHA. See, ASHA is an acronym for Accredited Social Health Activist. All of them are women. This is because one of the most important criteria for selection as an ASHA is that Asha must be primarily a woman resident of a particular village. She must be either married, widowed or divorced and preferably in the age group of 25 to 45 years. An accredited social health activist is a health activist in a community. She will create awareness on health and its social determinants. She will mobilize the community towards local health planning. She will also mobilize the community towards increased utilization and accountability of existing health services. Initially, they were part of National Rural Health Mission and National Urban Health Mission as well. Now, they all come under the umbrella of National Health Mission. See, the ASHA comes under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Now, let us see some important roles and responsibilities of ASHA. First role is to create awareness on health determinants such as nutrition, basic sanitation and hygienic practices, etc. Second role is to counsel women on birth preparedness, breastfeeding and also complementary feeding, immunization, contraception and prevention of common infections including reproductive tract infections, sexually transmitted infections, etc. Third role is to mobilize the community and facilitate them in accessing health and health related services available at the village, sub-center, primary healthcare center such as immunization, antenatal and postnatal checkups and sanitation, etc. She is responsible to inform about the births and deaths in her village and any unusual problems, disease breakouts in the community to the sub-centers or either primary healthcare center. She is responsible in promoting the construction of household toilets under Total Sanitation campaign. Now let us see the challenges faced by the ASHA workers. First is caste discrimination. Many ASHAs recounted instances where they were discriminated based on their caste. ASHA workers were not allowed to enter inside the homes of the residents belonging to a higher social caste. In some instances, they were permitted to entry but denied a seat. The next is gender-based disrespect. ASHA workers experience derogatory comments and discriminatory behavior from the community members when seen in public with men who are not their family member. Next comes the toxic work relationship. ASHA workers describe their interaction with supervisors, auxiliary nurses, midwives, medical officers and hospital staff as unhealthy, bordering on toxic. Instances of insensitivity and lack of support were common. Lastly, domestic conflicts. Balancing their work and domestic responsibilities often led to conflict at home, sometimes to the extent of divorce threats. Many ASHA workers had to grapple with the pressure of fulfilling their familial duties with performing their demanding job. That's all about the article. Let's now move to the next. Look at this article. Yesterday, the head of European Union said that maritime corridor will be opened between Cyprus and Gaza this weekend. The corridor will relieve the humanitarian crisis in the war-hit Palestine. In this context, let us learn about the geography of Gaza Strip and Golan High in detail. Let's start with Gaza Strip. The Gaza Strip is a small, self-governing Palestinian territory located on the eastern coast of Mediterranean Sea. It borders Egypt to the southwest and Israel to the east and north. It is about 40 kilometers long and 6 to 12 kilometers wide, with a total area of approximately 365 square kilometers. Gaza Strip is encircled by the walls on three sides, and its western borders is controlled by Israel. Take a note of its complex history. Following the Six-Day War, the region was under Israeli occupation since 1967. In 2005, Israel withdrew its settlements and military presence from the Gaza Strip. However, it continues to control its borders, airspace and territorial waters, effectively putting it under Israel blockade. Politically, Gaza is governed by Hamas organization, which won the legislative elections in 2006 and has been in power since then. However, Palestinian Authority, based in the Western Bank, also claims authority over Gaza, leading to a divided governance structure. Living conditions in Gaza Strips are typically poor for a number of reasons. First and foremost is that it is one of the most densely populated area globally. With over 2 million residents living in a tiny area, the area's growth rate is also one of the highest in the world because there is no river running through it. It lacks adequate water, sewage and electrical services. It has the high rates of unemployment due to the sanction imposed by Israel on the region since 2007. Moving on to the Golan High. The Golan High is a region located in the northern part of Israel and the southwestern part of Syria. It is a hilly plateau with average elevation of around 1000 meters above the sea level. The Jordan River and the Sea of Galilee border it on the west, Mount Hermon on the north, the seasonal Wadi al-Ruk River on the east and the Yarmouk River on the south. This gives the Golan High significant strategic and geopolitical importance. During the Six-Day War in 1967, Israel captured the Golan High from Syria and subsequently annexed it in 1981. However, this annexation has not been recognized internationally and the territory is still considered by much of the international community to be Syrian territory under Israeli occupation. So the status of Golan High is still remained as a matter of contention. That's all about the discussion today. Now let's move on to the today's practice questions. Consider the following statements. Investigation of cases related to terrorism and national security. Enforcement of laws related to economic offences and corruption. Handling of cases pertaining to cybercrime and digital fraud. Investigation of cases involving organized crimes and narcotic trafficking. How many of the above mentioned areas fall under the concurrent jurisdictions of both NIA, National Investigation Agency, and CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation in India? Correct answer is option A, only one. Statement 1 alone is correct. Both NIA and CBI in India have concurrent jurisdiction in investigating cases related to terrorism and national security, while NIA primarily focus on the cases pertaining to terrorism, organized crime, and cybercrime. The CBI has jurisdiction over the cases of corruption, economic offences, and certain high-profile criminal cases. However, in matters concerning terrorism and national security, both agencies may work together or independently, depending on the nature and the scope of the case, except that all others are exclusive jurisdictions of CBI. Match list 1 with list 2 and select the correct answer using the codes given below the list. List 1 consists of fuel gases: CNG, LPG, coal gas, water gas. List 2 major constituents: carbon monoxide, hydrogen, butane, propane, methane, ethane, hydrogen, methane, carbon monoxide. Choose the correct answer using the codes given below. Correct answer is option C: CNG, methane, ethane, LPG, butane, propane, coal gas, hydrogen, methane, carbon monoxide, water gas, carbon monoxide, hydrogen. With reference to BrahMos missile system, consider the following statement. BrahMos is capable of carrying nuclear warhead. It uses only liquid-based fuel engine for attaining high speeds. Which of the statements given above is or incorrect? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. Statement 1 is correct. It can carry both conventional and nuclear warhead. Statement 2 is incorrect. It uses both solid and liquid-based fuel for propulsion. So the answer is 2 only. Consider the following statements. Statement 1. The Gaza Strip and the Golan Heights are both territories that have been subjected to a significant geopolitical tensions, but they differ in their geographical locations and the nature of their disputes. Statement 2. The Gaza Strip, located in the northern part of Israel, is primarily known for its dense population and urban development, whereas Golan Heights is a small, self-governing Palestinian territory situated on the eastern coast of Mediterranean Sea. Which of the statements given above is or correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. And the correct answer is option A, 1 only, because the statement 2 is incorrect. The location of both Gaza Strip and Golan Heights is interchanged. Behind me is the today's mains practice question. Interested candidates can write it in the comment section below. If you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.